And third time is a charm. Welcome back to my channel where I'm talking about knitting. Today I decided to tell you about my knitting books and to give you some overview of everything that I have in a paper, not only published, not only e-format of patterns, and to help you to decide whether you need to buy them or you don't need these books in your life. And I want to start from this book from Knitting for Olive. I have a small note because I want to follow the same structure for each book, so that's why I have some notes written. Okay, so the first book that I want to show you, this is Knitting for Olive book. It's finally was published in English previous year. At first I was looking at it on Danish and I wasn't sure that I need book in language that I can't understand, especially printed book. Probably with ebook it will be much easier, but let's go without a lot of yammering from me. So the cover of this book, it's a paperback book. It's quite heavy, despite the fact that it's just a paperback, but still there is a lot of pages. It has 20 patterns. From these 20 patterns we have 11 sweaters, 3 hot scarves and accessories like that, 1 top, 1 tee, 1 vest, 1 blouse and 2 cardigans. Also, this book contains ideas and inspirations behind the brand, some history of the brand, some information about yarn, about their source, and it was pretty interesting to read. Plus, I want to just show you this part of the book, around 50 pages or something like that, really about brand, their history, why they want to be sustainable, why they don't want to have any sales, and so on and so on. It was pretty interesting to know more about everything behind this brand. And the next category that I'd like to highlight is the quality and readability of the patterns and how clear are they. To be honest, this book has probably the most described patterns that I ever seen in books. I'll show you then a bit more of other books, and believe me, these patterns are really well described. There is a lot of information. You won't get something like add some decreases or add increases in some order which isn't described. Here you'll got real instructions like you bought just one pattern published, and each pattern can take quite a lot of pages, like 3 or 5, and you'll got a whole pattern, so definitely it's cool. As for the sizings of garments in this book, they're a bit strange for me, because for some patterns you can get 10 sizes, for some patterns you can get 8 sizes, and for some patterns there is only 3 patterns. Not sure there is a great approach, but probably that happened because some of the patterns were quite old and some of them quite new, and probably the newer one are more size inclusive and the old one isn't so size inclusive. Plus, some patterns here are like huge, chunky, oversized sweaters, for example, a cardigan, and maybe that's why they decided to have 3 sizes, and you can choose size depending on positive ease that you'd like, or negative ease. It depends. And I want to check one more thing. Yeah, here you can got the size to fit chest, actual chest length and sleeve length for most of the patterns. The next point that I want to highlight is 3 of my favorite patterns. I decided to go with 3 from each book. It wasn't really easy to choose 3 because you have much more on this book, but we'll try to get this. The first one is waffle sweater. This is waffle sweater. Probably you've seen it already on Instagram. Also, they have a cardigan version, but in this book you can have only sweater. It's a sweater with lacy details and knitted in 3 strands of knitting for olive soft silk mohair, and I have sweater quantity of mohair for this sweater in really beautiful color, and I want to knit it. And this is my plan for this year. Also, I want to show you a bit more of photos of this sweater because this book has a lot of photos and it's really cool. The next pattern that I want to show you is this one. It's not a sweatshirt. This is classic raglan sweater. Look like a sweatshirt. It's cozy, comfy, and you don't need a lot of yarn for it. I think that this sweater can just replace your sweatshirts that you're wearing a lot and to be something that you knit by yourself. And the last one is Darling Wrap. This is a wrap cardigan, and also I forgot to mention for the previous sweater I have yarn quantity as well. I want to knit it with cotton merino and soft silk mohair to have something a bit lighter. And as for this wrap, I hope you can see this photo because I don't want to show you part of the pattern. It's a wrap cardigan knitted in 2x2 rib, and the only thing that I'm not sure about for now to knit it for myself is that you have to knit it bottom up, and bottom up raglan is something that makes me scared and make me think a lot rather I should knit it or not. But we'll see. However, I really love how this cardigan looks. This can be better. It looks really good, and I also love the photos for this cardigan. And was this book worth it? The price of this book is 33 euros. One pattern on Knitting for Olive website cost 5 euros, so probably you have to knit 6 or 7 patterns from this book to get the same amount of money spent. But I really like this book, and for me it worth its money, even if I will need only 3 patterns from this, but probably there will be a little more. Much more, we'll see, because also there is a Barbour blues, which I really love as well. And definitely history and everything behind of the scenes of Knitting for Olive was quite interesting to read as well. So for me, this book really worth it. And additional thoughts about this book is that there is a lot of beautiful photos. All models don't have makeup on these photos, and it looks really alive, like not really photos for magazines or something like that, just live photos of people. Plus, I really love that Darling cardigan is showed with a baby, so it shows the versatility of this pattern, so it can be wearing for those who are breastfeeding and so on and so on. So definitely cool. And the downside of this book is that it would be nice to have inside patterns additional yarns that can be substitution for this pattern. For example, for some patterns you can easily substitute merino with cotton merino or with silk, while with others it won't be great. For example, if you want to knit something like summer top, it depends from the weather where you live. You can knit the summer top in merino, you can knit it in cotton merino, you can knit it in silk. But for example, for something like really tight fitting with negative ease item, probably silk won't be the best choice. So probably it would be nice to have in this book these hints, like you can substitute this yarn for this, or it's better not to substitute anything. And probably that's the only downside of this book that I got. The next book that I have is A Knitter's Year. It's a book by Vitra Design. I have knitted 2 patterns from this book, and again I took my notes. This book has hardcover. It's a bit lightweighter than book from Knitting for Olive, and it contains 30 patterns. And from these 30 patterns you got 3 patterns for kids, 1 men's pattern, 3 accessories, 7 sweaters, 1 skirt, 1 trousers or culottes, 6 tops and tees, 5 cardigans and jackets, and 3 dresses. For me, it's quite a huge amount of patterns over here, and I really like that there you don't have only like sweaters or only tops. It's really versatile. There is even patterns for kids, pattern for men. It's cool. What's more, this book has a separation of patterns divided by seasons. So this really covers the whole year. You can start knitting from some winter items and start knitting some spring items, some summer items, some autumn items. It's amazing. The photos are made in the same like seasonal atmosphere. So for mittens you'll get some winter photos, for dresses you'll get some summery photos. I really like that, and I like the small tip on each pattern where Ida recommends you to try your clothes while you're knitting, because everybody is different, and it's true. So this is really worth mentioning. Sometimes you need just, like to see it one more time, not to forget trying your clothes, because all bodies are different, so don't forget to try on your clothes while knitting. As for the readability of the patterns and how easy it is to understand them, this book has, I can say, not much more complicated way of reading patterns. It's just much shorter than in Knitting for Olive book, and that's why you can't knit these patterns if you are quite new in knitting. Probably you can, but I want to recommend you to start from something like that, because there is a lot of stuff going on in each pattern, and you should understand how to do it. So better to have some experience with some other patterns, much better described. Maybe on her website her patterns are better. I think so, that there is more items, like more description, because for example, like evenly increase 4 stitches. I don't like to do mess when I'm knitting something. I want to do everything that is written. Please don't ask me to think a lot. And this book of patterns sometimes ask you to do this, but still I've knitted 2 patterns from this book, and I'm planning to knit more, so probably it's not so hard to understand. As for the size ranges, mostly there is 5 sizes, and there is no info about recommended ease of the pattern. Plus, I like to see in the pattern knitted especially from the cotton yarn that try to knit with less ease than you'd like, because the cotton can stretch. And I think that such recommendations would be really helpful for these patterns. But let's go to my favorite patterns from this book. Surprisingly, most of them from autumn category. I don't know why they're in autumn category, because for me it feels more like summer, but still. The first one is this one. It's retro button dress. I have retro button-up top. From this book I've knitted it and I wore it quite a lot, so I decided that I think I decided that probably I need a dress similar, and I really love how it's knitted. Plus it's knitted in the round, not like a top, so it won't be so hard, but it's a bottom-up pattern, which I'm quite not sure still. The next one is Northwest top. This is the same top from the cover. I really like how it looks, and I saw so much photos of it on Instagram. It's really cool, and again, it's bottom up. And the next one is Collared Jacket. I think that I'll try to get closer photos of it, because from here you can't absolutely see it. You can't fully see it, but I like the shoulder detail. Okay, what is book worth it? The book price was around 30 euros, plus I paid quite a lot, like 15 euros probably, for delivery. Not sure that it was a great idea, but still. Okay, we have like around 30 euros for the book, and patterns of this designer, patterns price of the design is around 5-7-ish euros. So you need to knit around 5 patterns to get the same price per to get the same money spent. And for me, this book was definitely worth it. Yes, I still not quite happy with written instructions, because for me they're not so obvious and not so easy to follow as usual patterns, but still you have like 30 patterns for the price of 5 patterns, and at the same time I love a lot of them, and I love how they show. So my additional thoughts about it, like to sum it up, I can say that there is a lot of bottom-up designs, so you should know about it, because I know that probably a lot of people right now are knitting top-down. Me too, but from time to time I got the feeling that in some cases bottom-up constructions can be better. For example, I think that Creabea told about this, Rebecca Clow told about that she really prefers top-down drop shoulder, because shoulder details and that shoulder seam in that case looks better. I'm not sure, I haven't tried it yet, but still I think there is some pluses of these constructions. Sometimes pattern isn't clear for me, and I really love beautiful designs in this book, and I love the idea of separation pattern between seasons. It's definitely a cool idea, but I am a bit surprised with tops in autumn collection. Maybe I don't get something. It's okay. The next book is quite new. The next book is quite new. It's 52 weeks of accessories. If you've seen my previous knitting vlog that I posted on my channel recently, probably you've seen how I got this. Like the time when courier came to me and gave me this book. I have it pre-ordered from Laine Publishing, and it's really fresh. It's really new, so we need to get some thoughts about this book. Okay, this book has again hardcover, and the cover, I hope that you won't have problems with seeing this book right now on a video, because when I take photo of it, it was a bit strange. There was like some glitch because of the material of the cover. It's like, I can say, it feels like Laine or something like that. I hope that it won't be too dirty after using it a lot, especially in summer, but we'll see. Okay, it has, as you already got it from the name, 52 patterns in total. It's 11 hats and headbands, 12 scarves, 9 cowls and hoods, 8 mittens and hand warmers, 7 pairs of socks, and 5 patterns in category bags and more. There is like bangs, some bracelets, and something like that. I like the feeling of this book. It's quite heavy, to be honest. And what's more about this book is that this book differs from the two books that I showed you before, that this has a lot of different designers. So mostly every other pattern is made by other designers. There is several patterns that made by the same designer, but still you can get a lot of patterns by different designers under one cover, and it's cool. I haven't tried to knit anything from this book yet, so I can't be sure that I can say about pattern readability and clearance that it's really clear and easy to understand, but from the first look it feels closer to a knitter's ear than to knitting for olive book. So probably it's not so easy to understand for beginner knitters, but still I won't recommend start from such books, but if you're eager to do it, why not? As for the sizing in this book, it's a book with accessories, that's why there is a lot of sizing, like one size or one like first, second and third size. You'll get some information about recommended ease, but you can't have a lot of sizes for the accessories. Let me show you designs that I really like. The first one is this beanie. This book still has a smell of a new book, just printed one, you know. This is this is a hat with twisted rib and some cabling. I really like it. And also in this book there is a mittens that can be like a one set. I like how they look. The next pattern is from the cover. It's Acanthus, this meets. Probably I've told you before that I'm not sure that I'm ready to knit colorwork mitts and socks, but after knitting my test knit for Milena colorwork socks, I got that probably it's not the worst idea to start from there, and that's why the third pattern that I like is this beautiful colorwork socks. I'll add you again image closer to see how they look. There is quite a lot of information you'll get about each pattern and of course color charts. So, was this book worth it? You know, for this book I'm not really sure, because when I went through 52 weeks of socks, both versions, I find quite a lot of patterns that I liked, but I wasn't sure that I'm ready to knit so much socks. That's why I decided to go with this book, with the book where you have a lot of different patterns, but I have a feeling that I don't like a lot of patterns here. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the color choices over here for the designs. Maybe it's just not my cup of tea and I like something a bit not less complicated, but something more minimalistic maybe, or something like that. Because these patterns are definitely not about minimalism. I can't say that I want to sell this book or something like that. I'm happy that I have it, but probably I want to buy one more if something happened with this book. As Vera from Knits by Vera told on her book review, that if something happened with her book, she won't buy it. The same with this book. While previous to, I definitely would buy again if something had happened with them. This was like a final thought about that book. And also I have two not pattern books. I have two books. This Vogue Knitting Ultimate Knitting book, and Vogue Knitting, it's so heavy, Vogue Knitting book with patterns. I decided that I need them in my life. It's at the end of 2022 because I thought that probably every knitter should have them. That's why I bought them. So let's start from this one. I won't keep it in my hands because they're really heavy. As for the Vogue Knitting, the Ultimate Knitting book, this is a book that guides you through a lot of different stuff. Different weight of yarn. For me, it was essential to understand what does it mean. Everyone is talking about what is lace weight, what is iron weight, and so on and so on and so on. And yes, of course you can Google it, but from time to time I like not to Google everything. I like to read the book, printed book. That's why I find some information over here. Plus, there is a lot of techniques described here. If you can understand some techniques like cast-ons, cast-offs, increases, some simple lace from charts in book, this book is definitely for you. If you feel that for you it's better to see some clips or videos, and so I'm not sure that you need to give it a try, but still, probably this will work for you as well. Also, there is a lot of information about how to create a top-down raglan sweater, how to build a sock, how to build a hat. It describes you like the mechanics under each part and how to understand how they work, how to build something for you, like different shapes of shawls, how to get each of these different type of shawl. Not sure that I will design a shawl or hat or socks, but to read about this stuff was really interesting for me, and I feel that this book was definitely worth buying it. And also it's a beautiful coffee table book. As for the stitch dictionary, there is a lot of stuff going on. I have quite a lot of patterns saved. This book contains a lot of different stitches. They gathered by categories. There is a lot of knit and purl patterns, some color work, cables, lace, different kind of edging. Like what I mean by this, like how to get the picot edging or something else. Yes, there's ideas of different edging, plus some color work that can be suitable for edges, some braids that can be suitable for edges. A lot of ideas. What to say about this book is that I'm not sure that everyone really needs this book. I've knitted several cable patterns from this when I decided to came up with my own fingerless mitts. I used several patterns from this book just to be creative a bit, and I'm knitting a scarf. I've started knitting a scarf a year ago with a pattern from this book, like with a stitch pattern from this book, and it's still in progress. Not sure that I'll finish it, but I like the pattern. I like how it looked. There is quite a lot of patterns. It's more than 800 stitch patterns. Not sure that you need everything. But for some inspiration, and if you want to design something, this is definitely a book for you. If you're just a knitter who not really curious about this stuff, I'm not sure that you need this. But still, to have it and to be inspired, I like to have it. And I think that maybe I'll come up with some socks. Or maybe scarf. For me, scarf is much easier to write as a pattern, and I hope that I could manage to do something like small scarf, or maybe a small kerchief with some lace details. We'll see. It's not a plan. Don't get me wrong. It's not a plan. It's just an idea how to use this book once more, because I really love everything that's going on here, and I so want to design something, but it's too much for my brain, let's be honest. So that was it. That's all books that I have. I hope that you enjoyed watching this. If you enjoyed, please do let me know in the comments below which book do you have and which book from those that I showed you liked. Please also give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next week. Bye!